What's going on, everybody? Coach Joe here with Heartletics, and I'm also joined with Coach Mark. This is going to be a little bit different. This is something that we're going to start doing maybe every week. Who knows? If you guys are lucky and you guys like this, obviously let us know, maybe either on Facebook or in YouTube, and just leave a comment down below. But basically what we're going to be doing is just some live Q&As, which is fun. This is mainly going to be for our private Facebook community group. If you are a guy and you're looking for the best ways to lose body fat, improve your overall health, have more energy, have more confidence, go to Facebook, just search in the group section there, Heartletics, Heartletics, and surely you'll find us, send an invite, we'll gladly accept you in. And we actually put in there a poll a few days ago and just kind of wanted to know, a little bit more from the members inside of the group. Hey, what are some questions that we can go ahead and just answer for you guys, especially if you're struggling. I mean, let's face it, summertime is basically here. I know I'm making an admission that after this month, there is no shirts for me at all. It's nothing but tank tops. That's just like Mark wearing right now. So if you're watching this,
here.
yeah. So it's just like, I'm making an admission, no more sleeves. I got to show the guns, So we wanted to ask some questions, and we got blitzed with a lot of them. We're going to try to cover as much as possible within the next 25, 30 minutes. But obviously, if we did not get a chance to answer your question, or if let's say that you want us to answer one of your questions next week or the following time we decide to do this little Q&A segment, right, that Coach Mark and I are going to be doing, definitely let us know. We can make sure to answer that. So with further ado, let's dive right into this, Mark. So some of the questions, I'm going to be talking more about the nutrition, and then Mark is actually going to be diving a lot into the training, okay? Some of the questions that we got asked was things from like Brian Wilson in the Facebook group, asked about metabolism. What are some tips and knowledge about metabolism? Other people were asking more about calories. We had a few people in there like, Aaron Archer, ask about, macronutrients and micronutrients. And then my boy, Bill Lawn, I'm pronouncing that right. Longhorn. Yeah. He asked, which is a great question that most of you guys are probably thinking also, is what are the best protein recommendations that aren't supplements, which is huge. These are some of the questions that we get asked, Mark and myself, on a weekly basis, over at the coaching program within Heartletics and our coaching members. So this is great. So let me dive in. And I guess the best way to talk about this, to make it very short, sweet, simple to the point, is let's first explain metabolism. And then we'll explain a little bit about calories, and then we'll go into the macros, the micros. I'll explain, Bill's question about, the best protein sources that aren't supplements. And then Mark will carry away with the training, which has some really, really good questions and answers to them. Okay. So first off, metabolism. So what is that? Basically, that is the process of you consuming energy, AKA food, right? And your body is breaking it down and utilizing it for energy. Now, if you have a slow metabolism, guess what? You're going to be storing a lot of that. You're not going to be utilizing it. Now, some of the biggest factors here, because nobody cares too much about the science and the nitty gritty about the terminology. People really want to know is, hey, what slows down somebody's metabolic rate? And most importantly, how do you speed it right back up? So let me explain, right? If you're somebody that is, let's say, constantly tired, you have low sex drive, low stamina, you're unmotivated, you feel like, oh man, I'm going to get started doing something today, but you constantly put things off to next week, odds are you struggle with having a slow metabolism. One of the biggest signs and factors on what is the biggest culprit, I should say, as to what leads to having a slow metabolism is crash dieting. So that means, hey, maybe you heard it online, right? Calories in versus calories out. We hear that all the time as well, too. People say they know what they should be doing and they think they know, right? Just, eat less, move more. It's not as simple as that works. Half the time, right? Somebody, is supposed to be given an inch and they take a mile with it. So what does that mean? Let's say that they're supposed to be dieting or trying to eat healthier to lose body fat, and they hear calories in versus calories out. So they jump the gun eating from maybe 3,000 calories all the way down to 1,500 calories or 1,200 calories. Well, you're probably wondering like, yeah, but Joe, I saw the number on the scale go down when I did that, Sure, that's great, but we don't specialize in weight loss at Heartletics. We specialize in fat loss. And there's a big difference between the two, because somebody can cut out their carbohydrates and lose water, since carbohydrates store water within the body. So you might see the numbers on the scale going down, but that doesn't equate to fat loss. That could be just losing water weight. And if you're crash dieting, eating very low calories, guess what? You think that's enough food and proper fuel for your body to maintain its muscle? Absolutely not. So what you're doing is actually losing its muscle mass. So now, yeah, you see the number on the scale go down, but is it actually fat loss? Odds are probably not, especially if you've been doing crash dieting, different detoxes, cleanses, anything like that. Now, the issue is really when, let's say you called a rebound, where basically, hey, you fall off the wagon, you're like, all right, this isn't sustainable. I want to go eat some donuts, right? I want some more calories. I want some more food. You end up going back to your old ways. But here's the thing, you already lost the muscle. So you end up just putting on more body fat. Now, one of the best ways to actually, improve on somebody's metabolic rate is by one, focusing on eating more protein, two, focusing on some resistance training, three, the NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which Mark is going to go over here in a little bit. These are three of the biggest, ways to do that. But you got to understand this too. It's a patience game, right? Nobody got fat in a week. Nobody's going to lose all their body fat in a week, right? It's going to take some time. And the best thing that I can do for somebody that, is listening to this right now, whether it's on the Facebook group, whether it's on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, is just to hear me out, right? When you're eating properly for your body type, what does that mean? You're eating in a healthy calorie deficit to lose body fat. It also means, hey, you're eating the recommended macronutrients, specifically protein is what we go over at Heartletics, right? And when you're able to do that consistently over time, and you're able to follow through with some of the other essential fat loss habits, like getting plenty of steps in, drinking plenty of water, getting plenty of sleep, these things that are called essential, but also most importantly, sustainable, you will eventually reach your goals. Just don't do what everybody does. And Napoleon has one of the best quotes out there that I absolutely love. And that's, most people fail because they give up what they want the most for what they want right now. And that's why guys usually equate to cutting out their carbs or going low calories, because they want to see the number on the scale go down now, but it just hurts them, down the road. So that's some tips for metabolism. As far as calories go, this is the easiest thing in the world, and this is why I brought this little glass. So if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, hop over to YouTube, or hey, join our Facebook community group, Heartletics, and you guys can simply just watch this. This is the best way for anybody to understand how calories work within the body, so it's not so specific and it's not so confusing. Take this empty glass right here, and let's just say the middle of the glass is your maintenance, right? So what does that mean? Hey, you're maintaining your weight. You're not putting on, body fat. You're not losing body fat. You're maintaining your weight right there. And you got obviously some wiggle room, right? But here's the thing, going above the line, that's what's called a calorie surplus. So depending on what you're doing, if let's say you're eating in a calorie surplus, but you're doing some resistance training, you're eating, clean, plenty of protein, you could be putting on muscle. Obviously, you could be putting on fat as well if you're not doing some of the other essential things that we go over at Heartletics. Now, below the middle of the line, that's called your calorie deficit. And that's where you want to be at in the prime fat burning zone. But hear me out. This is the biggest reason why guys are, in fact, slowing down their metabolism and putting on body fat. This is the biggest thing that I can share with you guys today. And hopefully, if you understand this, if you're tuning in right now, and you share this with your friends, you share this with your family, we can at Heartletics do our job, which is changing millions of people's lives. Let's face the facts here. Over 46% of the US population is considered overweight or obese. 1/4 of US adults struggle with having high blood pressure. If they know this, what I'm about to share right now, I promise you, this is going to change a lot of things in America. All right. There's two ways to put body fat on your body. One, right? Imagine if I'm taking my energy drink right here and I'm dumping it into this empty glass. If the liquids, aka the calories, are going above the line and spilling over the cup, you're storing body fat. But that's not the reason why most guys are fat, out of shape, struggle with lacking energy, struggle with low sex drive. It's because they're not putting enough calories in. So remember, if you're underneath here, the bottom of the cup, you're not putting enough calories in, aka you're crash dieting, you're cutting out your, carbohydrates, which are essential for, let's say, proper testosterone levels and metabolism, right? Guess what? Like, you're not putting enough fuel in the tank. And obviously a car, right? You put gas in it, it gets from point A to point B, your body's no different. So remember, there's two big ways to put on body fat. Either one, you're putting way too many calories into the cup and you're overflowing. That's the first way, but that's not the main reason why most people, over 46% of the US population, is considered overweight or obese. It's the fact that they're all the way down here, way below their deficit. They're not eating enough to properly maintain their muscle, to properly lose body fat. Their body's in this starvation mode. So hopefully that makes sense. Remember, metabolism is not too tricky at all. Calories is not too tricky at all. And this just goes to show, like, when you invest into the right coaches that are willing to help you out, we break it down simple. Mark, what do we always say? KISS?
Keep it simple, stupid. Yep.
Keep it simple, stupid. That's it. That's our bread and butter. This is why guys learn proper knowledge. It's like someone teaching you how to drive a car. That same person that taught you how to drive a car today, or excuse me, back years ago when you first took your driver's ed test, it's not like they're in the passenger seat anymore. It's because you acquire the skills, the knowledge, right? You learn how to do that. So that's how we make it at Heartletics. Now, real quick before Mark takes it over and talks more about training, let's talk obviously about macronutrients, micronutrients, and some of the supplements out there to help out with. First off, macronutrients. What is that, right? That is your proteins, your carbs, your fats. There is a fourth one, right? Alcohol. And I'm sure me and Mark can maybe dive into this in a future Q&A, right? Because that is huge, especially now with the summertime. I mean, let's face the facts here. This is only going to help people out along the road to, maybe fitting in their favorite foods, fitting in their favorite drinks, and not putting on the body fat. So that would be a good one. And if you guys are tuning in and you want Mark and myself to go over that, hey, either comment down below if you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube, leave a comment down below. Just type in like beer, or why don't you guys do this? Leave a comment with your favorite alcoholic beverage, right? And that's going to be the indicator for me and Mark to go over alcohol and fat loss to help you guys out for this summer. But the main three, right? Your proteins, your carbs, your fats, right? Your protein, and everything's broken up into what's called the thermic effect of food, which means that as you're consuming these calories and it's broken up into macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats, your body requires energy to digest and break it down. Proteins, right, are the highest, and we'll talk about that last. But lowest, right, is actually fats. And that's anywhere from 1 to 3, maybe 5% energy to actually break it down, And then carbohydrates, a little bit more, 5 to about 10% energy. But here's a big shocker, is that your protein is anywhere from 20 to about 25% more energy. This is why we always tell guys, hey, focus on eating more protein, especially if you want to lose body fat. It's not only more satiating. So if you're, let's say, eating in a calorie deficit, the protein is going to fill you up longer. But most importantly, with the amino acids that's all broken into a protein molecule, you're going to, obviously put on more lean muscle tissue, increase your metabolic rate, lose more body fat just by eating more protein. And a big tip for anybody out there that's probably wondering, Joe, this sounds great. You guys are giving away so much value, but how much protein should I be eating? It's very simple. Take your body weight, multiply it by 0.8. That's going to give you the bare minimum. Now at Heartletics, we always recommend around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're 200 pounds, aim for around 200 grams of protein. Keep it simple, stupid, KISS. Okay. As far as micronutrients go, obviously, yes, they are essential, right? But if you're eating a whole, some foods, right, balanced diets, and that's what we go over at Heartletics, is having that 80-20 rule. So you're having 80% that, healthy, wholesome foods, 20% of the time, your sanity foods, right? The cakes, the donuts, the alcohol, pizza, whatever the case may be. As long as the 80% of the time you're getting in, let's say your micronutrients, like your vitamins and your minerals. So you're maybe eating some greens like vegetables, right? Maybe getting some fruits, plenty of sources of fiber. That's all going to be beneficial at the end of the day. I wouldn't say that's the end all be all though, to really helping someone get the physique that they want. Let's break it down in terms of what is that foundation: calories, protein, right? And then everything else in terms of training, essentials, right? Sleep, recovery, etc. Okay. Now, lastly, let's go over his question, which was, what are the best protein sources that aren't supplements? Mark, why don't we spitball? I'll give a few, and then why don't you give a few, and then you go right into your segment with the training. So for me, obviously, I'm a huge fan of plain Greek yogurt. All right. Egg whites for me, and then pretty much cottage cheese. Those are like my top 3 when it comes to something that's not a supplement. What about you, brother?
Turkey, chicken, right? Those are great ones. I think you mentioned egg whites already. Lean fishes, those are great. So yeah, that's probably my main go-tos is, chicken, turkey, and then the ones that you already mentioned.
Yeah.
Those are my standards.
Yeah, anything like a lean meat, something like that. Pretty much high in protein, no supplements at all. I am though personally a fan of supplementation, mainly just protein powders and creatine. If you guys want to know more about supplements, leave a comment down below and just type in supplements, or hey Joe, can you go over this or go over that? Me and Mark can do that on another live Q&A one of these days. But Mark, why don't you kind of go over some of the questions that were asked about training?
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to add one, kind of comment to what you were talking about with the nutrition, which is, as far, because I've been talking to a lot of guys lately who are on some extreme kind of diets, and, they don't realize that when your body is at such an extreme calorie deficit, where you're talking about below that waterline that you were talking about, you're in fight or flight mode. Your body is, and at that point, you're going to start, yes, you may be losing pounds, but that's because you're losing muscle, you're losing, water, you're not necessarily losing fat, and that's a key difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as far as some of the other questions we had, so Jerry Cotton asked about resistance band training on a boat, which we can translate to anyone who's asking about resistance band training in a small space. So I'm going to kind of approach this in two ways. One is to suggest some good exercises for resistance band training in those spaces, but then also kind of talk on a more general, guideline. So as far as some great exercises to use the resistance bands, we can break it up into body parts, right? So for chest, you've got things like banded push-ups, banded chest press. On the core, you've got banded Russian twists, banded planks. Legs, right? You can do banded thrusters, squats. For your arms, you've got like banded hammer curls, banded tricep kickbacks, bicep curls. And then when it comes to like back and shoulders, you got things like, banded upright rows, banded reverse flies, banded lateral raises. These are all things that you could do in a band. But I'll say this, two things. One, you can't out train a bad diet, right? So the key here, and especially if you're in a small space and maybe aren't, doing, as much, wide open, cardio movements and wide open, training, the key is going to be your calorie deficit and your protein, and your macros. So really, you want to focus on that to make the change that you're looking for. The workouts are always going to be the sprinkles on the cake. That being said, also in terms of small spaces, right? I would say there's some other choices that might be better than resistance bands. I mean, resistance bands are great because they don't take up a lot of space, but they're also not as effective as some other choices. I would certainly say, if you can get a hold of maybe some like adjustable dumbbells. Adjustable dumbbells take up a lot less space because they're all the various weights in one unit, so they don't take up a lot of room, and you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck as far as the actual benefits of strength training with them. Or another great alternative that doesn't take up a lot of space and also can come in an adjustable version is a kettlebell. Lots of movements and exercises you can do that will kind of accelerate that progress a little more than resistance bands. So that's kind of my take as far as small spaces and getting the best bang for your buck. It's A, focus on nutrition, and B, what's going to get you the most bang for your buck in that small space.
Yeah, and real quick, I mean, dude, we've helped out literally thousands of guys, trying to think. Pretty sure there was one guy. Maybe you can help me out in case I'm forgetting his name. I'm pretty sure it's Bill. But didn't he have some success with actually a lot of success with his health goals? And it's not like he goes to the gym, right?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up as part of another question, but yeah, Bill is an amazing example of someone who came into Heartletics, kind of with nutrition being his main focus, and he was seeing success with that nutrition, which was great. And then he opened up to a little more, but he's still, he's not doing full gym workouts. He's doing things like cardio, lots of walking. He's always been proponent of walking, and then he's added in some body weight circuits and smaller things that he can do in confined spaces without a lot of equipment. And he's seen massive amounts of success and really kind of changed, not just his his health and his physique, but his whole lifestyle. It's really kind of blossomed. So it's awesome to see.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm actually going to have, so if you guys are watching this on YouTube, at the very end of this, I'm going to have actually linked over the card to listen to the interview that Bill and I went ahead and did, where he lost over 45 pounds. And Very, very inspiring. He lowered his A1C levels, lowered his blood glucose levels, everything like that. And just by walking and literally doing some push-ups and focusing on our nutrition, he gave away so many golden nuggets in that one, especially about the mindset too. But in terms of everything, it's a really good one. So if you're once again listening to this on Facebook or iTunes or Spotify, hop out over YouTube, check that one out. Just go to Heartletics YouTube page and you'll see it. It's literally how Bill lost 45 pounds is the title.
Yeah, the interview is amazing, so don't miss it.
Yeah.
Really motivational. And then Tino asked us about leg exercises to do to strengthen legs when he has a missing or an injured ACL. So as far as that, there's some, choices are like heel slides are a great one for that. Leg press, if you can do it, single leg dips, calf raises. But let's back up a sec. Those are some great exercises. But the question really in a case like this is going to be, what does your medical professional say? What are you allowed to do? And then it also boils down to sustainability in terms of what are exercises that you can do that you like to do. Because it's always important in these training, scenarios that it's something that you enjoy, right? You want this to be something you look forward to, a healthy part of your day, not a punishment. So you need to combine that information from your doctor with, what you're comfortable doing, what you have access to. And that's part of what we do at Heartletics is take all that information into play. What do you like doing? What do you have access to? What are you restricted from when we assemble, custom workouts for you? But those exercises I mentioned seem like a good, approach. Again, you need to refer to your medical professional in that specific instance, because obviously, if you have a very specific, instance with your ACL, you need to see, what the doctor has told you.
Right, for sure.
Another question that came up was this was from Dan Cole, and he wanted to know about methods to strengthen the core without doing endless crunches. I think that's a solid one, right? Everyone gets a little bored or, finds those crunches monotonous after a while. So a couple of things. As far as other exercises to do, you've got planks, you've got RDLs, you've got hanging leg raises, you've got hollow body or Superman holds, flutter kicks, right? All these things are going to help strengthen your core. But here's the secret that you probably didn't think of. One of the main things that you can do to strengthen your core is just a lot more walking. And this goes back to what we were just talking about with Bill, right? Just getting that NEAT, that non-exercise activity thermogenesis. One of the biggest kind of impediments to your core is going to be that excess weight. So getting that NEAT in is going to help you take that off, and it's going to help you build a stronger core. So yeah, absolutely, do core exercises. They're great. They're good for you, but adding in that NEAT in conjunction with it, which is one of the 7 essential habits that we teach at Heartletics, that is going to make all the difference as far as really bringing it to the next level.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So hopefully you guys got some value from today. We try to make this very short, sweet, but at the same point, right? Like lots of very good information. We talked about a lot, metabolism, calories, literally everything about nutrition that we kind of go over at Heartletics, obviously from a broader terms perspective. And then what you just mentioned about training. So to summarize things, guys, I would say, and Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, the best thing that anybody can do is something that is, correct for their body type, their goals, and most importantly, something that they enjoy doing and something that they can consistently do, right? At Heartletics, we're not a fan of, cutting out carbs. Even people like Mike Berry, a type 2 diabetic, well, I should say this, previously a type 2 diabetic, before he got off his medications. Like, we didn't cut out his carbs. In fact, we don't cut out anybody's carbs because we know that, hey, having a well-balanced, you need them for sure. And it's a well-balanced approach, right? You should also have that healthy relationship with food, that, hey, food equals fuel. And that's what we kind of teach and, help guys out on our one-on-one coaching and group coaching over at Heartletics. And I'll say it like this, if you guys want the opportunity to learn a little bit more specifically for your body type, for your goals, instead of just the broad surface, on the Facebook page, hey, we got the link right there. You can just go ahead and schedule a call with either Mark or myself or also Coach Jimmy. And that way you can just go ahead and ask us, right? We're doing something completely different. We've been testing things out for the past few weeks. And it's basically having guys schedule these one-on-one discovery calls with us, but we're doing things as far as helping them create what's called a game plan. And think about this as being that roadmap, right? In terms of helping somebody out specifically, Mark, obviously, we want to know some questions.
Oh
We
yeah.
want to know about what they've tried before in their past. Most importantly, where they're trying to get to, everything like that, mainly their lifestyle, right? Occupation, family, past and current injuries. There's a lot of information there. And us as coaches, we need that information. So as soon as we have that information, we would love to just create, and this call is completely free of charge, create what's called a free game plan, going over your health and fitness goals with you and showing you the fastest way from point A to point B. And so once again, if you're watching this on Facebook, the link is right there in the description box. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, well, hey, thank you for being a lovely subscriber. Go over heartletics.com and schedule that call. You'll see the little button that says talk with our team. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for being a lovely subscriber as well. And give this video a thumbs up, but also in the box down below the description, we got a lot of free resources in there, right? A free training guide, but also the link right there to schedule that call. So we as coaches can do our part. And that's by giving that information specifically for you to help you set up that, that game plan, that roadmap for success.
And
Mark,
I was just gonna say, we love talking about this stuff. So schedule that call, because I love to talk to you guys about this stuff.
yeah.
And also, if you have, more questions, for more of these Q&As, don't hesitate to throw those down in the chat below as well. And we'll get to them in the next round.
Perfect. I was just going to say, Mark, any last minute words? And that was perfect. And you just reminded me, right? If you guys want to know something, whether it's supplements, whether it's alcohol, whether it's, more particularly about a subject that maybe we just kind of covered over in the broad surface on today's, episode, leave a comment down below. We'll be sure to talk about that. And with further ado, as always, guys, this has been Coach Joe, Coach Mark with heartletics.com, and we'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.